Hey everyone. Well, this episode took a wild turn 5 minutes ago when the thing I was working on quit working. So you're going to get one of these classic Josh loses his mind troubleshooting episodes. Let me lay some context though. In the description, you're going to see a link. And you'll notice that this is part 2. Well, the very first Short Circuit episode ever aired was about a year ago. That's when we had the intro and I wanted to start doing this. I built a Sun Fuzz kit by Stew Mac. It's a great little kit. I had it working at the end, but there were a couple problems where I strayed from the instructions, which I've talked about. You got to stay with the instructions no matter how good you are. But I had it working and everything was fine. This is the PCB. And then, like, I prepped a few things. So I actually painted a case or an enclosure. I went nuts and, like, did a hot pink enclosure for this. I had it kind of in there and ready. And I was just going to literally talk about tuning the transistors. And I pulled out of my archive a bajillion NPN silicon and germaniums. And I even did a little test panel of some NPN stuff that I like. And it didn't work, but it worked on the last live, right? That was a year ago. So we're going to fix it. We're going to figure out what the crap is going on here. Oh, we're going to fix it. So welcome to Short Circuit episode. What is this? 17? Is this episode 17? I think it's episode 17. I'm not positive. Doesn't matter. It's a fuzz face kit. Now, Stew Mac uses, they use pedal PCB and it's the Sandspur fuzz. So this is the actual fuzz here. And if I take my pen, let's sync this pencil back up. If I take the pen here, I'll just kind of circle the controls. You have essentially a clean control. This is a lot like Analog Man does this, Full Tone does it. It's a DIY staple in fuzz faces. It's essentially the control of your guitar volume on the front of the circuit. Then you have the classic output volume, the classic fuzz. And then you have a bias control here. Now, the reason I played the 3 series is because it's a very similar kind of thing. It's a fuzz face bias control. My fuzz control in here is not like the classic fuzz face. I'll get into that later, but I just want to get this working, okay? That's where we're at. We're in the chat here. We're all together. I have a Waterloo Cherry Limeade. And it's good. Stew Mac's in here. Well, Stew Mac, I was just explaining something in this PCB is disconnected. So I was going to have it all ready and do transistors. But we're going to need to troubleshoot this. So to troubleshoot it, first thing I'm going to do, because this basically has a built-in power jack. What I mean by that is the design that they chose to do. There's nothing wrong with this at all. It's kind of the jack you have to put in and then solder it. So I'm going to leave that attached because I don't want to be unhooking and rehooking that. I also changed their bezel. I much prefer over these metal, these metal ones kind of drive me bonkers. So I use the standard plastic plug that we use at JHS. And I plugged that in. I drilled it out just a little further. You can see the marks where I had it all on there. I did not get to clear coat this, but the enclosure looks really good when it was built out. I had the knobs on it. It looks killer. So we'll get to that in a minute. Let's wire this up. I also want to celebrate a little moment here. We've been doing a lot of desoldering on the show, and I've been using things like solder wick, right? You've seen me use solder wick. You've also seen me use solder suckers like this. And they're great. And there's a link in the description. There's an Amazon affiliate link. I've built a place where you can go buy all the parts. You can even buy this kit on there right now. So go click that link and all these parts are on there. I added a new thing I've never had. So this is really cool. You might get to see me use it today. I don't have a proper holder for it, so I don't want to burn my soul. But this is a smaller, really affordable desoldering iron. Now, I have expensive, big desoldering irons, but as I've described a few times, this nook here is really small. I have all my parts in front of me. You can't see that, but I'm really at a small table, and I don't want to take up any more counter space with my big desoldering rigs. This thing heats up, you push it down, and then just like the other ones. So this is cool. I added this to the Amazon cart. I have used it and I liked it. So I used it messing around with this today. Let's jump right into this and figure out what the crap is going on. And there's so many mods you can do to this. And keep in mind, I want to breadboard the fuzz face and teach you how every part works. That's not going to happen today. But yeah, go check these kits out at Stew Mac. They're great. I have another one I want to build. It's across the room. It's a it's the International House of Overdrive. It's the Crowther Hotcake. I want to build that kit on here eventually. But let's jump right in and get this thing working. So let me, first of all, connect a power jack here because the one that it needs is in the case. And I think I'm going to connect it. I'm just going to solder it because I can unsolder it so easily. So that's the plus terminal and that's the negative terminal here. And if you look in their instructions, all this is written out really well. So bear with me if you're seeing part 2 of this for the first time, and just realize this has been an ongoing little deal with this fuzz. I thought I had it finished and I didn't. Building stuff on live streams is insanely stressful sometimes, and I made some mistakes on this. Big shocker. And right now I'm just going to solder on a temporary power jack. I know I could use alligator clips. I can hear the chat now. But I don't want to do that because it'll be falling off. So I'm just going to solder it on. No big deal. Real simple. I think my solder tip is ancient as well. I have a little bit of a craziness going on there with that. So yeah, I'm going to change this tip after this episode. I think it's decrepit. And then, so I just soldered the negative terminal on. Let me zoom in a little bit for you. Okay. And now I'm just going to solder the positive terminal on. And super easy peasy. There we go. I like to bridge across those because I'm a nerd. You don't have to, but that's my habit, so I keep doing it because I don't use batteries ever, so I just bridge those two. All right, so now this is going to enable me to hook it up. Okay, so we have the LED, we have a functioning, there's voltage getting there, right? So we have that. We have the, if you flip it over, that's your input, that's your output. So that's how you have to think of this, in and out. So we'll plug our input here. Okay. It's my input. And then my output, normally if I had the pedal out, it would be opposite, but this board is laying upside down, so it's a little janky. And there's my output. Okay, that goes to my amp. Let me test that just to make sure I'm not crazy. That's my output. You can always test it like that. I have a flight delay on back there. Okay. Now, grab my guitar. And I don't have any signal. When I bypass it, yeah, so I'm going to give this pedal away. Once I troubleshoot it, I'm going to pick an NOS transistor set, tune it up, and give it away. But right now, we have an issue. It's not working. The kit is dead. Now, I have BC 108s in here. Let's zoom in further. I made some sockets. Now, I really wish, this is one thing about this kit I wish was different. It doesn't have spacing for the proper transistor sockets. They make these. These are sockets for transistors. I had to take these little individuals and I had to break them off. I'm not a massive fan of that. It's hard to solder them, but that's what I have going on here. So the first thing I want to do is make sure those are soldered in well. So I'm going to take my multimeter. I love that low resonant hum. It's like a nightmare hum. The first thing I want to do, let's go. Oh, I can mute my, there we go. I have a volume pedal on the floor. I'm going to take my digital multimeter and I'm going to use it in continuancy mode. What that means is it'll be able to tell me if things are touching or not. We need some things to touch here, okay? So, real simple. We'll set it right here. I'm going to put it to this sound icon. And when you touch these together, I'm just touching them if you notice. Well, it's hard to get that camera. Yeah, if I touch them. So that's going to mean it's a good connection, okay? This multimeter and a cheaper option, they're in that Amazon link below if you are so interested in such a thing. Okay, I want to just see, are these connected? So I'm going to put one in the top of this, because this thing worked. This worked when I ended the last live stream with this unit. So I'm wondering, did this come loose? All right, that one's connected. I'm going into each of the 3 transistor ports. That's connected. I'm just checking solder flow here, basically, because it's a little messy on the bottom, because I did it so quick. All right, let's check these 3. Real simple. I hate doing this because you're asking for trouble moving around a PCB like this. It's got ribbon cables. These are all checking out. So now the next thing I'm going to do, now that we confirmed it is not working, I need to stare at this back side here. Is there like any obvious logical issues? Like, is anything not soldered well? This is just observational. Is a part broken? Like, did one of these capacitors get like torqued or something? Is this ribbon cable broken? I'm just having to like just look at it, try to get a grid on what in the world caused this to quit working. It's very bizarre. Now I'm going to turn on my vent fan and I'm just going to clean the tip of my iron and I'm going to reflow some solder joints. So every one of these little pads is a solder position, right? I'm going to bend this up carefully. I'm just going to touch heat to all of these and reflow it a little bit. Okay, I'm going to heat it up. Tiniest bit of solder, let it set for 1 second. I'm just going to go across this because something is wrong. Like, something is weird. Something is wrong. I don't know what it is. So I'm just going to go through here. If they have a lot of solder on them, just reheat them. Don't add any. It's been 1 year since I touched the circuit board. And since it's not working, I have to assume something like a bad joint or something got cold over the year. Cold is a term for not soldered well, like it aged, like something didn't land well over the year. That's sus looking right there. Let me heat that up. That joint looks really bad. I mean, there's a chance that this just will not work and something like the ribbon cable is broken internally. I don't know. But we're going to give away a 3 series fuzz today, Bill, or whoever's watching, Joshua. let's give away the 3 Series fuzz that I opened with right here. We're going to give this away, which is a very similar circuit. And then once this is finished, I'm going to trick it out. And it's going to have some new old stock transistors in it. Okay? It's going to be really cool. I have a bunch of vintage parts here. So it's going to be like a snobby fuzz face when I'm done. Yeah, I'm literally just reheating the joints because something is fishy. Like something's weird. And I don't know what it is. It's a little difficult. It's a little difficult to assess. I'm even gonna solder the top of these pots here just a little, especially these because I don't have to bend them again. Lay the iron there, let it flow just a little bit. You just never know. Troubleshooting is a pedal builder's life. You're just constantly troubleshooting. I can't tell you how many messages a month I get consistently from friends who've like, I got this design. God, there's this problem. Like, what's it doing, you know? This is life. So that's why I don't stray from showing you this on the live streams. Like, if you want to build pedals, I want you to know they're not going to work all the time. And so one of the best things I can do is just be honest with you about that and say, hey, like, dude, just get used to fixing broken stuff. Slow down, take a breath, don't get in your head. Yeah, I'm just reflowing every joint just to be really sure. Now, in a perfect world here, this is going to crank back up because the big puzzling part is you can watch the link. I put it in the description, the first video. It's a year old. It worked. I was playing Spirit in the Sky on this thing, and then today it didn't work. So that is some type of bizarro situation. Okay. Now, I've tested the continuancy of those transistor sockets to be totally sure. Wrap this up here. Okay. I think we plug it up and I just kind of churn ahead and maybe have to measure some voltages here. So plug it up. Okay. This is the input. It's a little weird because it's up, the circuit board's upside down. So it's on the wrong side. Right, that's the output. There are no transistors in here, but this is run-of-the-mill BC108s. This is what came in the kit. And I'm just putting them in there, in their orientation. Like, not measuring them yet. I'm just wanting to get a signal. And they have an orientation, and you can tell that because there's a little tab on them. They explain that in the instruction book really well. So, let's see here. Nothing. I have static on the bias pot. That's interesting. Like, I wish I could find the intermittent. There's something going on here. Let's see. So I'm actually like moving parts a little, if I can reach the cap. Let's take a screwdriver and turn these, which I did earlier. I want to mess with those trim pots. In a far position, they may. Oh, there's static in that one. So that the audio path is just not working. Let's see here. The other thing here is I would normally use an audio probe my audio probe is at JHS, and I wasn't planning on doing like a deep troubleshoot here. So I just want to say, you can Google, you know, when you get into troubleshooting like this, you can make a little probe. I'm tempted to make one here, but I'm hoping I can just find it quicker. Yeah, this is a doozy. Like, this is weird. It should work fine. My jacks are fine because I'm getting bypass. So it's dying out when it's on. And so if I pull up the schematic here, let's see. Well, I could show you this. So this is like the PCB, but the schematic, you know, I can work backwards from the volume pot if I make like a volume probe, or if I make like a little troubleshooting probe. I don't want to make that right now, but I guess I will. So what I'll do here is I will, do I even have an extra jack on me? Let's see. Yeah, I do. Let's see. So I'll make a little probe device. When worse comes to worse, I'm gonna keep trying here. Hold on. So our volume is cranked. All of this is cranked, pretty solid. Some really quirky anomaly is going on. Now, I double checked this because I was very in my head. The transistors, they are marked properly, and I'm trying to keep this stuff at a basically I'm trying to keep this stuff at a very minimal troubleshooting level. Like, I don't want to go in on crazy stuff. This is such an easy build because you don't have foot switch wiring errors and stuff. You just literally have like, and I know it's not that because I used it, right? So you have to keep in mind, if you're tuning in, I see some comments. I used this pedal, so it's wired properly. That's what's odd. It's like something else is weirding out on it. I'm just double checking polarities on the layout here. Just want to make triple sure that, like, by some freak accident, it didn't work last time. See, they're very clear. They did a good job here. Your transistors, they have a tab and you line the tab up, stuff like that. They did a really great job on this book. Yeah, let's double check. Let's get that multimeter out. Let's see how many volts is getting to the transistor. That would be the next step I would take. I would like to see if I go here and I connect, let's just put this on ground. And then if I touch the collector of Q2, let's see. Yeah, I'm not getting the right voltages. I should be getting, well, that's dependent really. That's further complicated because there's a literal bias control on the pedal here. Hold on. Let's see. That should be interacting with this. So I'm just measuring 1.14. If I turn this all the way back, let's see if it raises substantially. 0.9. I mean, this is moving it. That's pretty low. That's interestingly low. Fuzz all the way up. Bias all the way up. See, I can't remember how that affects the circuit either. It's a little bit of a... I mean, I know that it affects the bias, which is the collector of Q2, but I can't quite remember what the voltages were from a year ago. Yeah, that's interesting. That's really interesting here. Let's see. Yeah, it is dead. Such a puzzle because it worked. And it worked well. I jammed on it. Part of me... let's see here. There's some really... I just want to say there's some really great suggestions, and I'm glancing over. It's interesting. There's some really good suggestions that I would take to heart if it hadn't have already worked. That's where I'm like, this makes no sense. So I tell you what, let's imagine these transistors are just garbage and they're not working. And let me put in some stock, just 2N5088s in here. Just some little run-of-the-mill transistors just to make sure that something crazy didn't happen to one of those transistors. So let's swap the transistors, right? Let's plug in those in to my sockets. I have a bajillion transistors. Let's see. This is a puzzler. No. So it's not the transistors. That's interesting. Yep, it is not the transistors. Those are working fine. There's something really bizarre here. I'm staring at this slowly, thinking it over. Positive, negative. Okay, let me wire up a little probe. I hate making a probe because I have so many probes and I don't know that I have the wire that I like to use on the probe. I like saying probe. Let's see here. What I can do is I'll make a probe here. We'll see what happens with this. I wish I had alligator clips. I think I do. Hold on. I believe I do. Let me walk over and grab them. Okay, so I do have some alligator clips. Let's try to just probe with that. There's a particular pointy probe I would like to get a hold of. I have like an entire stack of stuff here. It's a lot. See, this is the stuff you don't do on a live stream. You know, you don't do it. It's not smart. It takes forever, but let's do this. Let's do positive here. We're going to disconnect the input and we're going to plug into this input jack. And I'm going to work backwards from the output jack. So this green is ground. I'm going to connect it on to the ground of the circuit, which is right there. And there's a lot of grounds on the circuit. This tip, though, for instance, if I touch this to this tip, I should have a clean signal. Okay, so I do. Now I just need to go backwards through the schematic. So let's try to touch it to C3. I'm just going to go through it and literally Just backwards and forwards. Which one? Where is C3 here? C3 is right here. Let's try it off of lug 3 of the volume pot. Okay. Then if I probe backwards, that is interesting. It's not getting through that cap. Is that my culprit? You broken, little buddy? You broken? Like all of us? We're all broken. It's fine. Everyone's broken inside. Just read a comment that says I'm behind the New Jersey drones. It's fascinating. Okay, that's... So that is... If you see this capacitor here, that line I drew in green, that's where I'm touching now. So I'm just working backwards through it. Let's see. Now, it'd be interesting to jump right off that collector and see what the crap's happening. Let's see. This is a bit of a nightmare because it's a pre-built kit. It's not conducive to what I'm trying to do here. No. I mean, we're not getting audio past. We're not getting audio. If I look here, it seems that we're getting no audio past this point. I'm just using a probe to touch and see if I get my signal back. That's all I'm doing here. Nicholas Sorensen says, you just built a pedal with free will. It doesn't want to work. It's hilarious. Let's see. Again, what makes this maddening is... ribbon cable was broken. Holy bat nuggets. That's got to be what it was. It just snapped off into... Look at that. All right. Now things got interesting. I knew I wasn't crazy. This is one reason ribbon cables are so hard to deal with. Okay, that's why it worked last time and not worked now. Okay, this has turned into a worst case scenario for me. Everyone applaud that. You have to be very, like, these kits are made, any pedal with a ribbon cable, it's made to be built and left alone. And so, you know, when you're messing with it, wiggling it around, look, it just snapped right off. So I have a couple of options here. Do I have ribbon cables? I do. I have not the kind they're using, but I have some ribbon cables. I can strip it down. Or, this is freaking unbelievable. I'm glad I know ribbon cables are just always a pain. All right, let's hook up this desoldering gun. My God. Did not want to use this today. Let's try it. It worked really great earlier. I'm gonna plug it into my wall. It's gonna get really hot. I don't have the proper stand for it. You might hear me scream because this is the stand they give you with it. It's like this ridiculous little small spongy thing. But I'm gonna put it down right here and hope that I don't die. I'm gonna move all the plastic away from it. All right, so let's repair this ribbon cable. I kept looking at the ribbon because it's always a suspect, right? It's like ribbon cables are just always, yeah, they're broken. So ribbon cables come standard pretty much. Let's zoom in. They pretty much come standard in the sense of like, they're all the same gauge wire and stuff. So they've used a 4-banger. I'll call it a 4-banger. It's got 4 wires. This is a 6. I may actually have some 4, but it doesn't matter. You can just take your scissors and let's just make a new 4. So it's actually an 8. So I'm just going to cut it. So I've made a new 4. See? All right. I have 2 new 4s there. Okay. I need to desolder all this, and it's going to be agony. And you're going to watch me, and we're going to do this together. And if it doesn't work when this comes on, I'm probably going to sell JHS pedals to Behringer and move on with my life. And every time I touch it, I'm possibly breaking another wire. This is the troubleshooting hellscape, right? So this thing here, this soldering iron, it's gotten decently hot. Let me let that keep heating up. Let's see here. I made 2 4-bangers. Yes, you are correct. Push the fast forward button. If you're watching it later, unless you like this stuff. Again, I built this a year ago. It worked fine. I literally did nothing. I put it in the enclosure that I painted over the weekend to give it away, and it didn't work. And I was like, should have known the ribbon cable was the problem. They usually are. So if you're using ribbon cables, be very careful. Second part of this is I want to get this built because I have a bunch of new old stock transistors right here, and I'm going to do something cool, case it up and give it away. So we're just kind of trudging through this. This is I prefer to just show you the real world. I'm not really interested on short circuit and like clean cut, precise, perfect things all the time. I like that you get to see me have to fix stuff. So that's where we're at. All right. I think that this is ready. So this is a desoldering pump. You push it down and then you heat up. So I have to undo all 4 of these connects. There's a button right here. You kind of hold it like this. Okay. Again, I have much better ones at work. I bought this because I was trying to find a cheap option to try for y'all. I put it in the Amazon link in the description. I just don't know. You put it on there. Yeah, it actually works really well. It's shocking. I have a cable management issue with it. It's a little, there we go. So you just put it over the joint or the pad. It's working really well. And it's really cheap. I love the ones we have at JHS. Would you guys like to see like what our builders have on their bench? Maybe Belle could host. I don't even think Belle is on here. It'd be fun to see Belle just host a short circuit where she just shows all the tools that we actually use to build. That'd be really fun, actually. I'm doing both sides. That way you could see like the other solder suckers and all the repair technician tools. That could be fun. I'm just making sure all the solder is getting removed. I hate this cable though. It's how I have my bench set up. It's a little non-conducive for this. So now I have like a bunch of wire kind of hanging out here. Not the end of the world, but I want to try to remove it. Again, you might have to just do it a few times. It's not going to work in one pull. That's unrealistic. Just trying to get the solder off. A lot better. You got a few pieces of wire over here. Okay. It's decent. There's one comment. It's not the end of the world. It's just the end of the wires. It's very, very profound. I saw somebody ask about tools. There is a link in the description. There's an Amazon affiliate link. I make like 0.0000001 penny on any of that stuff, but I was able to put it together because it is helpful to people trying to know what to buy. There's a link. Just click that link and you can find all these tools. And I'll keep adding to it as Short Circuit goes. So that looks pretty dang good. That got cleaned up nicely. You can see through the holes. Okay. Now I need to do the ribbon from the PCB. Okay. Same thing. I'm just going to be unsoldering the ribbon from the PCB. I swear if this doesn't fix it, I'm selling everything and getting out of the pedal industry. It's an empty threat, but it's a threat. I saw somebody say I'm going to make millions on tools. Yeah, that's hilarious. Amazon's so giving. It's funny. It's like it's way worse than like Spotify percentages. Like you do the affiliate link and it's just like embarrassingly small, which is, you know, at least they do something. So people like me can, you know, I can gather stuff, have a list, help people out with what to buy, and they throw me something for doing that, like a bit of a commission. I guess that's one way to look at it, is like, at least they care that much. I'm just going to yank that out. It's generally done. Look how gnarly. Look at that. That's awesome. So the wires are bent over because I'm a genius and I shouldn't have done that last time. So generally, now I can kind of set this solder sucker over the top. Like put that wire through the tip, if that's possible. Or at least the other side. There we go. Well, that's desoldered. You know, this might actually turn into one of those heat it up with the iron and just pull it out scenarios here. Let's see. I love that you get to see, yeah, that pulled right out. So that piece came right out. These are probably going to do the same. I'm just going to grab them from the top, heat it up the slightest bit. I touched the desoldering pump. That hurt. I told you I would. Oh man, I burned some flesh right there. Oh yeah, that was juicy. Bam. Let's see. I straight up set my hand on that desoldering iron. That was amazing. Oh, that's kind of coming out. It's just, it's like, I don't want to come out. I want to come out. Let's use this a little bit more. This is just time consuming because you have to do it right. I love that there's a comment that said, is this JHS Live? Unfortunately, yes, this is JHS Live. I am just back and forth here. I'm going to rename this How to Troubleshoot the Stew Mac Fuzz for 2 hours. It's going to be wonderful. It's not their fault. The kit's great. This was like the worst case scenario for building a kit, which is don't build it to the instructions, rush, and then let it set for a year, pick it up, break the ribbon cable while casing it. I mean, this was literally like a comical customer service nightmare. We have a couple lingerers here. Does not want to come out. Being a booger. And I want to be careful not to ruin the circuit board. Like, that's a big deal. Do not want to ruin the circuit board. The reason the bypass worked is it goes direct. It doesn't touch the ribbon. That was another giveaway that it could have been the ribbon that I didn't think about. We were getting bypass signal, you know. Let's see if I can insert this here. No, those are still clogged up, and there's so many things to be said here. It is a very difficult task to completely clear out this. So, like, if you have one of these small little holes and it's clogged with a little tiny piece of wire, so I'm actually going to add some solder into it right here, and then hopefully that loosened the wire up, and then remove it. By golly, that worked. All right, we're clear. We're clear to go. We're putting the ribbon right there. Okay. Just inserting the new ribbon into that. Oh, man. I truly hate troubleshooting, but over the years, I have gotten good at it because that is the life of the pedal builder. Good at it just means, you know, you kind of know what to look for and you're willing to put yourself through torture. That's all I mean by good at it. That's challenging the way this is laid out. You're supposed to insert it from the bottom and then have enough. There we go. Just need a little pressure there. Okay. All right, I'm just going to solder those 4 points of ribbon on. I need to get this desoldering iron off of the bench because it's like nuclear hot above my hand or below my hand. Let me unplug Mr. Desolder. Mr. Desolder, you are violently hot. I'm going to lay you down here on the concrete floor so that I don't die. Whew, that was hot. All right, now let's insert this ribbon back into where the ribbon goes. Let's double check this. We're all backwards now. Let's see. Okay. So this ribbon is going to insert from the bottom back into the board. I swear if this doesn't fix it, I'm going to scream. I need y'all to know that this needs to fix it because there's nothing like revisiting a problem that's a year old. I'm sure some of y'all understand how insane that is. And then trying to like remember what you were doing. And then also just being like, yeah, it sounded awesome. And there's a literal internet video of me playing it working, which is really hilarious. Okay, solder this on. Okay, hypothetically, I should be able to turn this on and it works because it should have been the ribbon cable. All right, are we all here? Can everybody cross your fingers? Happy thoughts. Send those good vibes my way. Short circuit good vibes. Here we go. You know, say a prayer, do whatever you want to do, like whatever you need to do, however you do it. Let's work together. Get this thing working. I'm trying to keep my bench clean too. All right. Where's that other jack? Here it is. Who's nervous? I'm nervous. Hypothetically, this should fix it. If it doesn't fix it, I may never do this show again. Oh, God. Hold on. It didn't fix it, I don't think. Hold on. Yeah, this has reached like a point of madness. Oh my gosh. This has full on entered a state of madness. kind of unbelievable. New ribbon cable. The bypass works, so those are fine. The pots are all fine. The transistors are fine. The caps are fine. Like, this has reached like a maddening height for me because it worked. We used this fuzz. This is so hilarious. I'm getting audio while inserting the transistors. Y'all, this is straight up crazy. I'm a little shocked. I want to reflow the foot switch jacks. Or the terminals, sorry, not the jacks. What's funny is this is the least inspiring build tutorial video ever. If some of you are like, I think I want to build a kit, and you're like watching this, you're like, oh my god, if he can't build it. You have to understand, I think this is an anomaly. Like, this has reached peak weird, like there is a demon involved, like living in the circuit board at this point. There's something very odd happening. Yeah, I'm not fully, like, it's pretty maddening. This is a fuzz face. Like, this is one of the simplest circuits on earth. And it's straight up, like, ridiculous. Every comment I'm seeing, I have done. I have done every single one. This is hilarious. There's something very weird and very strange, very abnormal happening here. Like, legitimately crazy weird. That's me reflowing solder again. Wild, y'all. I don't know what it could be. Simply based off the fact that I've changed the ribbon. Wires are not backwards. I keep seeing people say that. That's not possible because it worked fine. There are no wires backwards. A lot of good comments, but they're not right. That's what's interesting here. You hear that? This is crazy. I'm afraid I'm gonna break the new ribbon cable. When it's off, it works fine. The jacks are proper. All the wiring is proper. Voltages are checking out fine. Every joint has been resoldered. It's kind of wild. Like, this is officially reached insane wacko status because I played this fuzz and it worked fine. Let's put these 5088s back in here. Emitter, collector resistor, just to be sure, like maybe it's loose or something. Let's see here. Fascinating, y'all. Fascinating. Everything is oriented perfectly. Everything is reflowed. Everything is where it should be. It is simply not working, which is makes me wonder if it's a bit of, that's my 1 hour timer. It makes me wonder a lot of things. Pretty crazy, pretty wild and wacky. Yeah, I'm a bit like, how did we get here? I don't know. I like doing this in front of you though. I want you to see, like, not everything ends well. I really don't think this will end well. I have done every single troubleshooting practice on this. Every single practice. I've gone through the board multiple times. It's really difficult because it's already it's built out. Like, I built the kit out, you know? So that's a little bit irritating. Like, it'd be such a different scenario if this is a breadboard or something. But this one is like, this one's crazy. There's no solder bridges at all. Everything, I'm just gonna add a little bit of solder on a couple points, like to keep rolling, I guess. Crazy. If it turns on, you'll know it. Every knob is up high. Reflowing is all I'm doing here. I think that's like the only thing left I could possibly do. You know, pedal building's not a game. And if it was, sometimes you lose. I'm reflowing it again because there's nothing at this point. There is literally nothing left to do. Let's see. Y'all are being so helpful. Let me let you know this. All the caps are in perfect polarity. The diode's in perfect polarity. The wires are hooked up properly. The transistors are tested properly. The sockets have continuity. The ribbon cable has been replaced. I can keep going. I mean, it's like endless amounts of everything has been rebuilt on the entire board. So it's not some kind of standard thing. This worked. It absolutely worked. You can watch a video in the link where I played it 1 year ago. I didn't get to case it. And then here we are. So we have like officially gone around in circles, and it doesn't work now. I don't know. I don't know. Should I give up? I think Someone said, is it the foot switch? It could be. It could be the foot switch. Could be. Let's see here. It's hilarious. No, the pot's not shorting. Trust me, I built a lot of pedals. Thousands and thousands and thousands of pedals. So I've gone through this. All the classic troubleshooting points are in place. I tell you, could the switch be bad? That is so unlikely. Like, y'all have, that is so unlikely. It worked. I have not put heat or anything to it before what you just saw. Let me just fire a bunch of repetitions on it. Interesting. Interesting. So, let's see here. I'm seeing the back and forth is killing me because I just unsoldered the foot switch. This is hilarious. 1.2 thousand people just love troubleshooting, apparently. Let me, I don't, what I'm hating here personally is I've unhooked the desoldering iron. I'm going to solder iron back out. Do I need to heat it back up? Do I do the switch? I really think the switch is astronomically chanced. Like, if it was a broken switch, just, I could get it to... I'm like forcing it on here. Let's see. Oh my gosh. This is crazy. I need a vote for best thumbnail for this because I need to change it apparently. People are like, it's definitely not the switch. I'm just trying to live my best life right here in front of you. I hope you enjoy this. This is chaos. I hope you enjoy it. All right, I'm gonna change the switch. Let me go grab a switch. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. I do want to show you, I modified my Dyson to take like industrial batteries for a drill. Black & Decker. Look at this. This is great. I mean, you know, It's a thing. I modded a Dyson. It felt good. Felt cute. All right. Here we go. We're going to attempt to replace the foot switch. At this point, I swear to you, this feels illogical and crazy. Y'all are amazing. All right. Oh, the amount of hate I have for this happening right here. It's kind of crazy. It's pretty wild. Let's see here. Let's see if I can unsolder the switch easily. This probably needs to heat up more. It does. Oh man, what a booger. What a booger this is. I'll read some comments here. Everyone's saying foot switch. I have, like, I can't tell you everyone's like, pull out audio probe, did it. Pull out, check the orientations, did it. Check the transistors, did it. On and on and on. Like, there's nothing logical at this point. Keely says it's not the switch. I don't think it's the switch either. Robert, what is it? Robert, you're watching. What is it? This kit worked totally fine 1 year ago. I went to put it in the enclosure. If you're late, I painted up an enclosure. I was going to put it in this and give it away, and it just doesn't work, but it worked fine. I changed the ribbon. I'm seeing what Robert has to say. The problem with these comments are like scope, etc., etc. I'm an hour and 12 minutes in, and I have to go. So I give these like a hard 1 hour. So if you're wanting I just do not have, and my brain space is totally dead. Nick, I had sockets in it last time when it worked. These are the same exact sockets. I did that to test the different transistors. Yeah, I don't think it's the foot switch either. And I do not want to go back through the circuit because I've already been on here an hour and a half. Let me see. Part of me just wants to call it and throw it in the garbage. I might do that as well. Because, at the end of the day, we're going to give away a 3 Series fuzz here. I did continuancy test on the whole thing. I can't say enough how no one's suggesting anything I haven't done. Like, there are no new ideas here. Switching the cables doesn't make sense because it bypasses fine. It's not the cables. Everyone's just throwing out. It's really funny because everyone's throwing out like these classic repair things. And I've done them all. There's nothing you can suggest I haven't done. And I'm only really looking at Robert Keeley's advice at this point because I know he's been tortured by pedals like me. He's the father of being tortured by pedals. This is hilarious. If you're on here, be sure to check out Robert's new rotary pedal. It's freaking amazing. And the Zoma. The Zoma is incredible. Thought I was showing you this. I've been showing you my forehead. I'm just desoldering. This is a weird one, y'all. I've done every single step of troubleshooting possible. I have changed a new ribbon cable. I've done it all. This is like pretty darn maddening, just to say. A lot of good advice, but I've done it all. So now I've been tricked into just trying the switch because why not? Oh, pedals. I'm gonna call this episode I Hate Pedals. But hey, we've all been hanging out. How are we giving away the 3 Series Fuzz? There's a 3 Series Fuzz here. We're gonna give one away. Belle, are you here? I haven't seen Belle, so is Boki around? See, now I have this issue. Yeah, this is a nightmare. This is like a worst case scenario nightmare. This is not going to come off. I'm not even going to try. I actually just soldered it, and now I'm like, why did I even try? Because there is so much solder down under this. This is hilarious. I'm just going to reflow it, I guess. I don't know. At this point, there is no possible answer to what the crap this would be. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know, y'all. Let me just reflow the foot switch. But there's so much solder underneath it. I would need an entirely other PCB because it's like ruined it. This is maddening. And I don't have their foot switch diagram, which there's no need for them to show that. Everything's against me on this one. Let's get this desoldering thing out of my face here so I don't burn my soul. I have 14 minutes. 14 minutes. I have already audio probed it. Every orientation is correct. Everything is correct. Dead as a doornail. Voltages, I checked the voltages on the transistors. They are fluctuating with the bias controls. See, this is troubling too. This is Q2. I have full-on audio path right there. Hear that? That means Q2 is all the way to Q2. So like when you look at the schematic, for instance, in blue, that transistor is feeding audio out. This, I probed all through here. It's literally maddening. Like, I'm super puzzled. I might never sleep again. I may never sleep again over this one. Let's see. Let's see here. I think it's time Josh shows us where pedals go to die. I like that comment. This is amazing. Super snug fit. This is exactly how it operated last time. Man, oh man, oh man. There is something very, very evil about this pedal. We may have to just throw it in the garbage. When we have a winner for the 3 Series Fuzz, let me know, Bucky. I'll check my text. Rub the volume pot. That's funny. I couldn't read it. It's moving so fast. I definitely... My last resort here is to straight up reflow from the top, and then this thing's going in the trash. That's where we're headed. We're headed to the trash can. I'm letting y'all know. I've reflowed everything a million times. I'm now doing the wrong side of the board because I'm just like purely frustrated. Like, this is ridiculous. Robert's giving advice, but the chat is moving so fast. I cannot understand anything he's saying. Let me look. I'm looking. What is he saying? He keeps saying I can't, like, there's too many comments and I can't see them. What is Robert Keeley saying? Robert, text me, bro. Rub the volume. What? Robert, physically text me. Do it. Text me. I dare you. I'm holding my phone with 10 minutes left. You're the only person who can salvage this. Robert, I'm holding my phone. I have no idea what you're saying at all, because I can't read that many messages. I have a winner for the 3 Series Fuzz, which I'll announce in just a second. I mean, oh, Robert has texted me. Touch the pins to the pot. What pins? Explain, Robert. I love this. Robert Keeley is texting me, and this is the only way. At this point, my brain is dead. An hour and a half messing with a fuzz that worked perfectly fine. I've changed everything out. I've done every troubleshooting thing. Touch the pins of the volume pot? Yes, I've done this all day. Yes. He's like texting me. Hold on. Like this. Yeah, look. There. Yes. I already knew. Yes, so I knew the volume pot is connected to the amp because I already knew this. So Robert texted me. I did an audio probe. So the volume pot is connected to the amp. I knew this already. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's absolutely. Okay. Now touch the pins of the first transistor. Okay. I did an audio probe. Let's see. Dead. But Robert, but earlier they had signaled. See, this is maddening. I love that Robert's on here. I love it. All right, Robert. So no, there's nothing happening. So that means stage 1 is not getting signal. Okay, Robert, text me. It's me and Robert on text at this point. I can't pay attention to the chat. Robert has 8 more minutes before I throw this thing in the garbage. Let's see if we can fix it. So I have no signal on the input, which is actually brand new as of now. Earlier I did. Okay. My bypass works fine, which means my input cable jack, all that's wired fine, or I wouldn't be getting signal. This is fun. This is fun. This might be my favorite short circuit only because Robert is texting me in real time on my iPhone, sitting in front of me, and I'm letting him think for me because my brain is dead. I see text bubbles from Robert. I didn't fry the transistor, y'all. I've tried so many transistors. Let's just pull another 5088 out. Let me just pop another one in. Unless that ribbon cable. All right, brand new transistor. No. Okay. There's a voltage problem because there's no sound from Q1. Yeah, I mean, I know. That's what's so weird. I agree with you, Robert. Yeah, Q1. So if we look at the schematic, let me erase this. Here's where Robert, this just got real saucy. We have Robert Keeley in here troubleshooting. Let me explain what Robert is saying while he continues to text me. We have, basically that volume pot's connected to the amp, right? Well, we have sound here. Now, what Robert said is, hey, touch this. Does the sound make it through the circuit? Now, nothing's happening here. right? So we're investigating, or Robert is, because my brain is dead. And I've already done this, but all right, I'm going to follow along. Robert says no scratchy sound from the fuzz either. Let's check it. Let's check it. All right. Fuzz control. Hold on. Yes. I hear scratchy. The bias sounds like that, Robert. It's scratchy. The bias of Q2 is getting scratch. The fuzz control itself, which is off the emitter of Q1, I hear it. I can hear it. Okay. I feel like the tiniest grain of hope for this pedal. Y'all, it ain't the cables. People keep seeing cables. Oh my God. It's not the cables. It's not the cables. Look, same cables. Bypass signal works fine. It's not the cables. If I see cables one more time, I'm gonna burn my entire company to the ground. I'm joking. All right. Robert, what do you think? What do you think, Robert? Some people are saying C1. I mean, anything's possible at this point. I'm like, it just feels like it cannot be one of the capacitors because I probed through there. But, I mean, it's not the power supply. I played the other fuzz on here. It was fine. This is crazy. Oh. I'm reading the comments. This is hilarious. I've already probed. I've already changed the ribbon. I've changed transistors multiple times. I've gone through every joint. I have my proper voltages on Q2. I don't know. I don't know. I love this comment. Michael Cummings, whoever has the right answer gets half of JHS. Yeah, there is some type of issue. Because Q1 is not getting the voltage anymore. Something weird is going on there. That is weird. Robert has quit texting me. I think Robert went on to do more productive things, which is what I should do now. Oh, I see it. I see a text bubble. I didn't mean to put you on the spot, Robert. It was just giving me hope. Let's see here. That scratchy sound is good for Q2. Yeah, exactly. Q1, so if I go to the schematic, you know, troubleshoot brain here. Q1. Robert says, now I'm... he says, now I'm praying the rosary for you. That's how I feel. I'm literally like, yeah, dude, seriously. I think this is an exorcist situation. No joke. This needs an exorcism. It's not the ribbon cable. I've replaced the ribbon cable completely. I'm just reading comments. Robert is scratching his head. I mean, I've said this a ton on the show, but there's the dynamic of like, what is actually going on? And you're like, you know, it's live and sometimes you don't think so clearly. But I have literally gone to great lengths here for an hour and a half doing all the basic troubleshooting. And short of repopulating the board, Some people are saying C1 is bad, but the continuancy worked fine. I'm reading Robert here. This is my exact thoughts. I mean, he's asking, it's if nothing else, Robert's text to me is helping me feel less insane. He's suggesting stuff that's gone through my head and that I've tried. Let's see. Resistor to Q1. That's interesting. Like, I wonder if... That's why I kept reflowing off of Q1. Because it feels like, something's up. C1 is like over yonder by itself. But I had continuancy. The connections were there. Let's see. Yeah, C1 is not bad. Your finger on Q1 proves that. That's a great point. If nothing else, that was very clarifying and helpful. I'm reading Robert Healy's text to me because he's having fun with this, apparently. He must want to torture himself. Well, it's 4:31. The cables are not reversed for the 18 millionth time. I have even reversed them out of my insanity to make sure I'm not crazy. It's not that. All right. I could have built another fuzz face by now. I love this so much because this is like utter madness. This is complete madness. There's some really great comments in here. I don't want to throw it away, but like I don't want to waste another episode on this. Like it feels insane, right? We could be learning. I could have, if I had known this was going to happen, I would have just breadboarded a fuzz face and taught you the whole circuit today. This is just so comically hideous at this point. I don't know. I don't know what to do. I don't want to throw it away, but I don't want to pass it on because it's been hacked on so much. I also want to build it out and give away a fuzz face, like one that I built here. But I could have done I could have built 4 1966 fuzz faces in this amount of time, like with old school parts. Like this is maddening. I have built so many fuzz faces. I actually consider myself pretty darn knowledgeable on the fuzz face. Looking at the schematic, troubleshooting, this is weird. Sometimes something else is wrong. Like something is crazy here. Something is not right. I really lean towards we have a damaged PCB or something, but the problem is I don't know how that would have happened, right? Like I can't, my logic doesn't, it just doesn't work out. I have this beautifully painted case. I was going to build it out. It looks phenomenal. Look at this. Look how good this pedal was going to look. It's like this strange pink red color. I was so pumped about that. I don't know what to do. I don't know. Let's see here. I've switched cables various times. I just got another text about that. Yeah, it's not the cables. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get this working because it's going to haunt me forever. I will build it out. It's going to look amazing. This will live and it will sound amazing. And I'm going to give it away when I do the how to build a fuzz face episode. So the breadboarding, how a fuzz face works. I'm not letting this go. I can't. I have to get this working because it's gonna make me I'm gonna want to die. I have to do it for myself, not even for you, for me. So I'm gonna get it working. I see a text bubble from Robert. While that's bubbling in, we have a winner for the 3 Series Fuzz. That winner is Hercules Rockefeller. Hercules Rockefeller, you have won the 3 Series Fuzz. Let us know in the chat that you see this. This is a really fascinating episode. So I did give away a fuzz face right here, 3 Series Fuzz face. If you were hanging out, you got to see me fight with a kit circuit that obviously has something weird going on. I like letting you see the reality of stuff because I mean, I went through the paces here. 18 years of pedal building experience, troubleshooting, etc., etc. Even on a text with Robert Keeley, getting advice because my brain, you know, when you're so deep into something, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. But, you know, I'm going to build this out. I'm going to take new old stock vintage transistors and I'm going to make a killer sounding fuzz out of that and an enclosure that I painted. I might even spruce this up now that I have more time. I might do some kind of design and clear coat it. I don't know. But I'm not bummed about it. I'm just like, this is hilarious. If nothing else, this is a good exercise in the realities of building. And I like letting you see this stuff. I don't hesitate at all. So, let's see here. Yep. We gave that away. I wasn't paying attention, so Hercules Rockefeller, I think you saw that you won that. Also, I have this book, Electronics for Kids. If you have a kid and you want to play with electronics with that kid, drop your name in here real quick. I'm going to call you out as an instant winner. I'll do this myself. If you have a kiddo that you want to look through an electronics book with, this is really cool. It's a really fun book. Electronics for Kids. I'm looking. Boca Negra, I believe Mike. Just simply Mike says me. Mike. I think you can see Mike was the first one that chimed in on the server here. So Mike, you have won. I'll let Boca Negra deal with that. Yeah, this is Electronics for Kids. Super, super fun. I'll put a link to this in the description as well. Remember, a link in the Amazon affiliate link down there as well. So I bought a couple of those. I thought I'd give them away. All right, we're out. We're out. I love that this went nowhere. Like, it's maddening, but it's fine. This is cursed. This circuit board, I think, is damaged. And it's going to haunt me today, but I'll survive. All right. Everyone have a wonderful evening, wonderful night. Thanks for chiming in. There's a link in the description below. Be sure to check out the affiliate link to get the tools that you need. And then also, there's an episode 1 of this, which now makes this almost 4 hours of insanity. You can go listen to this fuzz from 1 year ago when it worked properly. All right. That's it. The paint code for that enclosure is in the Amazon card. It's a spray-on paint that I like. All right. See y'all, everybody. I'm absolutely out of here. Like, for real. I enjoyed this somehow. I don't know why, but I did.